You've been getting to know 16-year-old Matthew. He's addicted to video games, and he used to game up to 50 hours a week, an addiction that has finally been acknowledged by the American Psychological Association. And Matthew wants parents to know it's extremely harmful on so many levels.
My entire life was, if I'm going to use an example of like a tunnel, there's nothing in the tunnel except video games. Life is practically something I left behind. There is like some killing in the game, but it's not like graphic.
I know it's really difficult right now for you to, go back to these moments. And so, but I think you're doing great. Okay. How did you deal with it when Mom passed away?
When Mom passed away, I did want a way out. I thought that if I played video games that nothing else really mattered. Anything I wanted to do, I could do in a video game.
Sure.
And I could just pretend that there was nothing wrong.
No friendships, no kids his own age. And I was kind of dumbfounded.
88% of youth, those under the age of 18, play some form of video games. Now, out of the 88%, about 8.5% are addicted.
Do you get the sense that parents kind of feel hopeless, like I can't control this?
A lot of parents kind of fear video games. They fear electronics because they don't understand what the kids are actually exposed to. They hear from the media that there's a lot of violence in video games, and because of that, kids should stay away from that, and they should do whatever it takes to keep the kids away from that. And so part of it, I think there's a misconception. It helps with visual spatial skills and hand-eye coordination. I know a lot of parents don't want to hear that, but that's one of the effects. And so it comes in really handy when it's time to dissect that frog in biology class, or when it's time to perform surgical procedures in the future. A lot of surgeons who play video games are actually more precise than non-gamers. With Matthew, I never really asked him to stop playing video games. Instead, I tried to figure out what were the underlying issues responsible for the video games. And I saw that to be more important, at the same time more effective to treat.
Recently, I would say it's almost like a completely different kid, because he actually does now understand that he has a problem.
I'll tell you what, Matthew, you were brave to talk about it as well. Donna Tatro worked on this story. She joins us now from Los Angeles. So, Donna, anything surprise you?
Absolutely, Kyra. I want to let you know, as a journalist and as a mom, I was one of those moms who said, I want to be away from video games. I do not want my kids near video games. I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, both boys, and I see all these kids all the time out in public playing video games. They're in the doctor's office, they're in restaurants, and I am afraid. I am one of those moms who is really, really afraid of video games. But after talking to the doctor and seeing Matthew's story, it kind of gave me a sense that I don't have to be so nervous. There are some benefits to video games. But beyond that, I will say this. In my mind, I'm going to be able to open up a conversation with my young boys when they're of gaming age and say, hey, look, guys, I'm not against you in all of this. I want you to play video games. I want you to have fun. But at the same time, if it's going to take away from your life or things that you're doing, we're going to have to pull back. And I'm also going to explain to them, look, there are benefits. So I support you. We're here. I want to have this conversation with you. But I think it's going to change the way I parent my kids through this video game phase.
And you two parent differently because of this. Ryan, you were a gamer, right?
Well, I think that parents, we kind of get away from the fact that we grew up with arcades, we grew up with pinball machines, and we had Donkey Kong and Pong and Atari and all those things.
That's different from these violent combat, kill 'em,
no,
shoot 'em
I had Mike Tyson Punch Out, I had boxing games, I had all those things that were violent now. And even the parents today, they're gamers and they're addicted to it because it's 3D. I mean, it is 4D, and I think I even had the experience myself. I was playing, Army games. I was playing some driving games. I started running people on the sidewalk. Next thing you know, I'm thinking about it in real life. I mean, it's so graphic. I understand that point, but I think that at a certain time you got to say, okay, turn these games off because the kids are getting a headache because they play them so long.